From the Pac Northwest to Tampa Bay.
Something spooky's coming your way.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da. Bam!
Hi everyone, it's me, Ophelia,
And I'm Kassy.
and welcome to Vamped.
Everyone's favorite podcast where we talk about vampire fads from the 2000s to today.
And anything else that comes up along the way.
So sit back,
Relax,
and enjoy the show.
Oh my goodness. Hey Bobbi, where the hell have you been, loca?
You know, just around hanging out here in Denver, living the life of a single crazy cat lady, but I've been around.
Us too, girl. Us too.
I know. We're all living that cat lady life now. You got two new pussies. I got two new pussies. Hey.
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 Kassy got one new pussy.
Just one. But two total.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you both have three pussies.
Yeah,
I know.
We got a lot.
I know. The only thing better than a pack of pussies is a pack of werewolves. Yes?
I
No?
knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Set it up. Keep it smooth. You know how I do. You know how I do.
Yeah. Those transitions, though.
And they're all unplanned.
So, new moon. Let's talk about it. We talked about it a little bit last week. Ophelia, did you finish?
I finished it last week, and I'm happy to have Bobbi here, our resident new moon expert, resident Team Jacob expert, to discuss it further, since I realized we didn't really talk about any of the meat of new moon.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So last weekend, all of the Twilights were on Freeform, or it was 2 weekends ago. So I started watching it and recorded it on my DVR, but then all of them came on Netflix. So I've kind of watched a little bit of all of them, but I just watched New Moon last night, fell asleep because the weed I got just had me. They knocked me on my ass. And then finished it this morning at like 7:30 because I went to bed so early. But I've always been Team Jacob, always have, forever will be, die hard Team Jacob. And the reason being is, I mean, Jacob's, first of all, so fucking hot. You love Taylor Lautner.
I cannot disagree with that.
Same.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really can. And if they do, what are you doing? Right. But Edward is also just kind of a pussy. Like he, and not the good kind, like our sweet little babies we have at home. But I don't know. Let's just start out from the beginning, right? So they're in school. And of course, it starts out with Romeo and Juliet, right? Like the all-time greatest, like, tragic romance, right? And then I just thought it was so funny in the part where they're in the class and Edward's talking to Bella, and the teacher, of course, turns to Edward and is like, "Edward, what is this line?" And he finishes the whole thing. And
because he's a know-it-all. He knows everything.
Right.
He's been in high school for the last 117 years, give or take a few.
Yes. Yeah. And then his teacher, I thought it was so funny because he was like, "Pay attention, look at the screen." But that's how it starts off, right? So this is just going to be sad because it's foreshadowing, right, for this whatever bullshit that we call romantic, like, tragic love story.
Depressing, all of them.
Right. And then the birthday party where Jasper loses his shit because Bella bleeds. Gotta love a good Jasper Rathbone.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
But with Jasper, I think the reason I saw New Moon in theaters at least 10 times was because I'm Team Jasper. But considering Jasper's character, he was probably a racist. So 2021 Ophelia, no longer Team Jasper.
Right? I know, he was a Confederate soldier.
Canceled. And I live in the South now, so I know how real it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but continue. I still love Jasper. Actor.
Jackson Rathbone, best man.
Sorry.
Chef's kiss. So then the birthday party happens, and then Edward just pieces out. He is like, "Bye, bitch. I don't love you anymore." And then Bella sits in her room, which this soundtrack to this song also Chef's kiss. Like, listening to it, this is such a good soundtrack, just like in Twilight. But
really, the whole Twilight saga has a great soundtrack.
Yeah,
like, that's undeniable.
Yeah.
Rude.
And then she's sitting there in those windows, which I've never related to anything so hard in my entire life. Like, yes, sis, depressive episode. A little different because usually mine's not over some vampire bitch who sparkles in the sun.
And literally
But-
drops you on your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, ugh, gross. And then here comes along sweet, beautiful, wonderful Jacob. Ugh,
With a bad wig.
with a
Terrible
horrible
wig.
wig. Also, like, I love Taylor Lautner, but fast forward to the part where she finds out he's a werewolf and he hops up into her window. That fucking scene when he's like, hey, after not seeing her first, like, he was so douchey in the acting. I was just like, God, bro.
I know.
It was so cringe. I was sitting here by myself at like 8 o'clock this morning, almost triggered a little bit. And I was like, God, why did I love this so much? Like, to the point my
Because
first.
he turned into a werewolf and gained all of that BDE. He was one of the big
yes.
dogs.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
when he jumps out to go and save Bella after she punches him or punches Paul in the face.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was so. And that part where I think one of the brother wolves, I can't remember his name, where
I
he's
didn't know
like,
they
"No,
had
did you?"
names.
I want to say it was like Yuri or something, but he's like,
Okay.
"No, Jacob's a natural. Did you see him on the fly just morph or whatever it's called, phase? I don't know what they said.
Phase.
Yeah, on the fly like that." And I don't know, through the whole movie, Jacob just gets better, right? Because he's introduced in the first movie just a slight little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and he then just is really developed in the movies and even in the books, right? And this relationship with Bella from the start, where she's in the movie theater between like Mike and him, where they're both holding their hands up, waiting for her to
So
Gross,
awkward.
gross. So uncomfortable.
like,
Oh.
poor girl. But then her and Jacob are sitting on the stairs and they're holding hands, and she's like, "It means more to you than it would to me." And we're at that part where she's like, "I just know it would mean more to you." And he's like, "I have nothing but time." At first I was like, how cute is that? Like, he is willing to work for it. Like, yes, boy, get it. Show her like you're willing to work for it. But then it makes me mad because fast forward to the end of the movie, after they go to Volterra and shit, and she's talking with Edward and Jacob, right? And
Yes.
they're going back and forth, and he was like, "You can't change her, blah, 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 blah." And she was like, "Jacob, I love you. Don't do this. Don't make me choose, because it will always be him." And then Jacob just like stays all through Eclipse, all through Breaking Dawn. Obviously, like, we know what happens in Breaking Dawn, but that's the part that made me mad. I was like, "Jacob, you're a little bitch. Like,
Mhm.
know your worth, boy. Know your worth
Yeah.
at this point."
Yes.
Because she just leaves. She just leaves
Right.
him after begging her to stay.
Exactly.
Begging her to stay. And how many times did she beg him?
Like
And that's
twice.
why right. Well, and like, that's the thing, Team Jacob all the way, because he loves her no matter what, opposed to Edward, who just fucking leaves when shit gets hard. It gets a little hard because your brother couldn't
That's true.
handle a little bit of blood, and you just leave. Like, it was nothing.
But okay. When we talked a little bit about this last week, yes, team Jacob, I am in my adulthood. However, he is a little creepy. Like, there comes a time when a girl's like, "I just want a friend," and that was Jacob to Bella. And so, like, I do think Edward is like disgustingly toxic. Now, fucking loved him in high school. Oof, loved.
And that
But
skinny vampire,
I know,
sparkly
ew,
body. Oh, the
ew.
best.
That's so crazy, because now I'm like that. I'm for the fucking scrawny, homeless looking white men. That's
It
how
just
I
gets
am in
better
my
with age.
adulthood.
For always and forever. Like, I was
can't.
on that trend years ago, girl. Years ago.
See, Kassy and I flip flopped. That was her in her teenage years, and that's me in my adulthood.
Yeah, ew. I can't. What were your cringeworthy parts, Ophelia?
So the cringe, or more so just Jacob, kind of piggybacking off of what Bobbi said, is Jacob gets really possessive. He's super loyal towards Bella, and he's like energetic. And I was thinking, wow, he's literally acting like a dog. He's literally acting like
Yeah.
a dog. And
Mhm.
I don't know if that was intentional or a character choice, but like if a dog were a human, that's how he'd be with his owner. So Bella is basically the owner of Jacob.
Right.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like that either. And
Me
thinking about it that
either.
way, ooh, it just makes it so much more
Ew.
cringy.
Yeah.
Well, see, and I think that's why I related to Jacob so hard. Not that I'm not like it, but I'm so loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
And like
Mhm.
I related so hard because right, like growing up, I was like the ugly duckling or whatever, and I was always like the best friend. You know, like my theme song growing up, as Kassy knows, was "If We Were a Movie," because that line is always like,
Were a movie, you'd be the
"You'd
right
be the
guy.
right guy,
And
and I'd be the best friend." Me, I'd be the best friend that you'd fall in love with. But then it never works out for Jacob. Ever.
Yep.
Well, it does, but not with Bella, which apparently she's the owner of, because you're totally right and hit that right on the nail.
yeah. So I don't know if I'm stretching,
I think it's like a bit of a stretch, but like
but
I
I
can
think it was
see
intended.
I could see I agree to an extent. But no! Oh my god, the cat is getting into things. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
We
Part
know
of being
that
crazy
life.
cat ladies. Maybe that's
know,
why we don't
really.
like Jacob anymore too. We're all cat ladies now.
Because he's a dog. That's funny.
Yeah. Ugh.
My God, though. Okay. Yeah, New Moon. I'm excited for Eclipse, but New Moon, I feel like was definitely necessary.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And I guess like developed Bella and Edward's relationship.
It did. And it introduced us to Jacob. It definitely developed the whole triangle that doesn't really
Yeah.
exist. Like I said,
Right.
hashtag Team Jacob never had a chance. But
Right.
it develops him as a character to the point where we like see how friendly, loyal, caring he is. See how he's just so genuinely Jacob to a fault.
Right.
Because every saga, every story needs that best friend.
Right.
Right.
Forever friend zoned.
Oh my god, yeah.
Ophelia, is it still your favorite?
So no, not at all. Like it's good, especially the end, but it just like the last 45 minutes of the movie goes by so quickly, and that's the best part of the movie. Like, why do you have an hour and a half of all the build up for the like 45 minutes with the Volturi and Bella running and
Mhm.
Alice? We need more Alice.
I 100%
know.
agree. Alice is the best. Alice is the best.
Literally the
Well,
most important part of New Moon too. If you think about it, Alice saves the day.
literally.
Yes. Yes, she does. Always though. It's always Alice with her visions coming in to save the motherfucking day.
Yeah, dude. And I don't know, it's so funny that you said that. It goes by so fast. Because this morning I fell asleep for just a second right after Bella and Alice leave. And I
Mhm.
thought so much, like, I was like, oh my gosh, how much time has gone by? I couldn't have fallen asleep for
Mhm.
that long. And she's already running up to Edward and he's walking out. And I
Yeah.
was like, I thought I fell asleep for literally 5 seconds. And it just went by like it was nothing. But the biggest thing is, yes, it's important between, Bella and Jacob's relationship to evolve, and that's like what that screen time was. But it was so dragged out, like the movie scenes and Bella spending time with Jessica,
Mhm.
at that
Yeah.
movie, and then Face Punch, and even like when they went to Emily's house for the first meeting, I feel like that scene was so slow and none of it was
Yes.
really important at all.
No, like they needed to show Emily and get her story out, but like
Right.
she didn't need to like chum around with the boys and like, oh Bella, you know our secret now. Like no,
Right.
no.
Wolf
Right.
Girl and fucking Vamp Girl.
You're the
Vampire
vampire girl,
Vampire
bloodsucker.
Girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even that scene on the beach with Bella and Jacob, where she's like, it's wrong what you guys are doing. And he's like,
Oh
well,
yeah.
I'm not the right kind of vampire for you.
Vampire. We're not the right kind of monster for
Oh,
you.
there you go. Yeah.
Really, like
Yes.
you're running with supernatural creatures that you just like accept into your life, like don't even bat an eye, and you don't want this bodybuilder guy who's willing to like die for you. Like I'm not Team
Right.
Jacob at all, but I can't deny that he may be the better choice, minus some of his toxic masculinity characteristics.
Yeah. I think the Twilight characters are really just Jacob and Edward are
Yeah,
a bit
I was
like
like-
you, but
Yeah, I
you
was gonna be
know.
like, which is worse, some crazy vampire guy who tries gaslighting you about not being a vampire, or the one that's like just trying to protect you, right? Like, which toxic relationship do you want to partake
Pick
in
and
today,
choose.
Bella?
Pick and choose.
Which is probably another reason why I love these books so much, because we love a good toxicity moment.
I think everyone does. Everyone,
Yeah.
especially the Twilight generation. Like
Seriously,
Yeah.
because also somebody's got to be watching it, because on Netflix currently all 4 movies,
Or
5
trending.
movies are top 10 in Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah.
New Moon is
Crazy.
number 8 today. Saturday,
Wild.
July 24th. Currently number 8. Last week it was number 4
Nice.
though.
Well, see, here's my thing is I feel like it totally just started down the path for everything, right? Because it started Twilight, and then 50 Shades came from Twilight because it was like the fan fiction.
Yes.
And now we have things like Sex Life on Netflix, but also like I fucking watched 365 Days.
Oh,
I don't know about you guys.
I did too.
I didn't, but I need to. I need to, especially
You would love it.
You need to.
Okay,
That's what
is
they're
it
doing
kind of
tonight.
like
Those-
sex? Is it kind of like Sex Life episode 3:20?
I still haven't watched that yet. Forgive me.
3.
I haven't watched
20.
it either.
3.
I haven't watched
20.
it either.
Kassy, how could you have not seen it? You guys talked about it like 3 episodes ago.
Sex Life?
Yeah.
I've been busy. I got 2 jobs. What do you
No,
want?
and we have a
feel
lot
it,
on
I
our
feel
plate. We have a
Yeah.
big repertoire of TV and movies.
Seriously,
books.
and
you guys do.
Right. I watched Twilight and New Moon, and I'm in the middle of Eclipse right now. So what more do you want from me? Really?
And
True,
you
I'm about to
started
probably-
Gossip Girl. Bobby,
Oh,
have
and
you
I-
started the new
Oh.
Gossip Girl?
No, my friend Sam, who's staying with me right now, has. But I started rewatching the old Gossip Girl because I never finished it. But of course, I don't know how it happens to me. People ruin shit for me, so I know who Gossip Girl is in the original. So I'm like pretty butthurt about it, but I'm still gonna finish watching it.
Do
And then
it.
I'm gonna watch the new one.
You have
Well,
to.
Yes. So
No.
the original Gossip Girl, though, it was like last minute change. They had to like rewrite it because it was supposed to be someone else. And then it got
Really?
leaked. Yeah, it got
Mm.
leaked, and then they had to
Who wa-
rewrite it and change it real quick.
But if
Who
you
was
ask
it
the
supposed to
director,
be?
if you ask the director, story producer, he said it was always supposed to be DH from day one. He said he knew it from the first scene, first episode. But like, I think that's a lie. Because
I
like
also think that's a
when
lie.
they came out with that during the horrible last season of Gossip Girl, I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So it was supposed to be Nate.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, I could also see that. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. Well, especially like in later seasons, he's like, wait, how far are you?
Honestly, I haven't really watched past season 1 ever, and then I watched the last
Okay,
season.
bitch.
Oh, the last season's the
cannot-
worst.
It is.
Well,
the
no,
worst.
so here's the thing. I've like watched bitch, don't even I've literally seen shows because of you. I would come in Vampire Diaries is how I started watching that. You were in the middle of like season 2 because Ophelia let you borrow the disc set.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that?
Oh, I
Mhm.
remember that.
I
think
do.
I think
Same
mom
with-
and dad still have it actually.
Oh, they probably do. And same with RuPaul's Drag Race. The first time I watched that ever was I think All-Star season when I watched with you and Ophelia at the house
Mhm.
on Windermere. That's how I
Yep,
start
yep,
all of my shows, Bish, is I go periodically through these seasons and watch with these different people.
because we have
So I
good
know
taste.
You guys
just know
have
where it's
great
at.
taste.
Are we finishing New Moon next week or Eclipse next week?
Eclipse. We're going to Eclipse. We're done
Eclipse,
with New
baby,
Moon.
Dunzo. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
we talked about the end of Eclipse. Like everything
The end of
happened in
New
the last
Moon?
45 minutes, but
Oh
nothing
yeah,
happened.
that's true. Right. Well, Tori's coming. Bella's got to change into a vamp.
And Victoria's on her way too.
Wait,
Yep.
Excuse me.
before we end, Kassy, did you ever figure out where you know the original Victoria from?
Oh my God, I did actually, which is kind of really weird, serendipitous, because I started rewatching Bones again, and she was on several episodes of Bones.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And Bones also has the guy from
Angel,
Buffy,
David Boreanaz. Yes.
whose
Yes.
sex
That's the
tape was
sex tape.
leaked.
Yes. Yes.
See, it's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
It all
all
comes
of it.
back around.
Okay.
To vampires.
Everything's connected to vampires, and we will connect it some more next week. And I am excited.
I'm so excited. Thank you all so much for listening to our pod.
Yes, thank you for listening to our pod, and thank you, Bobbi, so much for joining us. I loved all of your insight.
Yes, it's
Thanks
good
so
to
much for having me.
good to have a younger generation's viewpoint.
Exactly, filled that gap. And we hope everyone enjoyed Bobbi as much as we do. Like I keep saying, we love the Bobbi.
We love the Bobbi.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have her back.
We will.
Yeah, you
we
guys will.
will. And
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate you both and all your listeners.
oh, you're welcome. And be sure to subscribe to the pod, everyone, especially if you want to hear more of the Bobbi. And follow us all on Instagram at Ophelia Oliver 00.
I'm at Kassy Pettit. Bobbi,
And
what's your
I'm
Insta?
Yeah. And I'm at Bobbi Cakes with 2 S's. BOBBI.
Okay, love it. And be sure to check us out on YouTube to see all of our amazing looks from this week's episode and anything else we want to show you.
Be sure to stay woke and remember to shine with the light from the sun.
Because this is what dreams are made of.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.